Hi, OJ. How do I deeply forgive someone who never loved me, who used me, who tried to destroy the only happiness I found? This is a story of my mom's deepest secret. I have been a good son, no scratch, the perfect son, especially to my mother. If she said jump, I didn't ask why. I would just ask how high. I was her firstborn, her eldest, and I loved her with all my heart. But if love is a seed, then she watered only one plant, my younger brother. I noticed it growing up, but I brushed it off. Maybe it was just that last born privilege. You know how it is, spoiling the youngest while the eldest is expected to be the most responsible one. When it was time for new clothes, my brother would get a whole wardrobe, while I was lucky to get two shirts. It was painful, but I swallowed it. Then at age 19, my mother did something that made me think, maybe I was wrong about her. She called my father, the man who was alive but never really dead, and insisted that he gets a job for me in the Ghana police service. That was the first time I felt like she was looking out for me. And when I got the job, I did what any good son would do. I gave her my first salary, all 4,000 cedis. The second month, I did same. After that, I kept giving, but I started keeping 1,000 cedis for myself while she took 3,000. This went on for almost 5 years. Then I met her, the woman I knew I wanted to marry. I told my mother, thinking she would be happy for me. Instead, she shut it down immediately. Over my dead body, she said, but my mind was already made up. I was going to marry this woman no matter what. Then one day, my fiancée was attacked. OJ, she was sexually assaulted. When I told my mother, expecting comfort, she was angry at me, as if this was somehow my fault. But I married my wife anyway, and when she got pregnant, I thought maybe, just maybe, my mother would finally soften. Instead, she became violent. She even fought us for not informing her the moment my wife went into labor, as if she cared. It's at this point that I ask that you subscribe to the channel, share a comment, or click on the like button, as that is the only way you encourage me to bring you more confessions and more stories. So please, subscribe. Let's go. For years, things in my life kept going almost right, then crumbling. Opportunities slipped through my fingers like water. It felt like something was blocking my progress. So, in desperation, I sought help. I went to one pastor, then another, then 8 different men of God. And OJ, they all told me the same thing. Your mother is using you as an investment. I refused to believe it. How? Why? It didn't even make sense. Then one day, in my line of duty, I arrested an inmate who was convicted of sexually assaulting a woman. Something about his story felt too familiar. So I pulled him aside and asked, if you saw her again, would you recognize her? He didn't even hesitate. Of course, someone hired us to do it. OJ, I felt my stomach drop. I pressed him for details. The woman said this girl broke her heart and needed to be taught a lesson. OJ, the woman who paid them to attack my wife was my own mother. Now she has cancer. The doctors say she might not live beyond 2 years. And everyone in the family, society, even my own conscience is telling me to forgive her. Not just with words. How do I truly deeply forgive someone who never loved me, who used me, who tried to destroy the only happiness I found? I am a good son, OJ. I know that. I have never been a bad person. But tell me, how do I heal from this? How do I even begin? And before you listen to any gospel song, make sure you watch this confession. The strange things that are going on in the church and the gospel industry.